After all of these years, you can still see the Ford image of the GT40 on a lot of Fomoco packages. It's become an icon car over all those years. Now in 2006, Camillo Pardo was commissioned to actually draw a new version of the GT40, something that Ford could build and put on the road. Camillo Pardo is a sub-40-year-old guy, but completely caught up in it. So he built this 11/10 scale of the Ford GT40 and called it the Ford GT.
Well, then Superformance decided, you know what? This is a great car. The original is a great car, but there's a big discrepancy between the two, and we think there's a market that needs to be filled. And they built, starting out with the Mark II, the 427 car, an exact duplicate.
So one of these cars is worth several $1,000,000. I guess I don't get to drive that one.
He specifically said that you can't drive it. And actually, this guy was really nervous about you driving it.
He did.
And Superformance said, I don't know about Tom driving it.
I've already driven the Superformance, and I don't care what the guy said about the Ford GT. I'm going to drive that one. You drive the other two. We're going to take them out on VIR and see how they work out.
How can you have any better performance? A 2,200-pound street car, 390 horsepower with the 48 IDAs on the back, a 5-speed gearbox capable of close to 200 miles an hour, 7.25-inch disc, independent front and rear. You got a coilover shock system. You got great big tires front and rear. You got a 15 9-inch wheel in the back. Performance, no matter what you do, is just going to be outstanding on this car. Take them both on the road and on the track. On the road, this car feels a little bit more civilized than the original car. Now, it's got the same gearbox, but it seems to shift a little nicer. It's got a ZF 5-speed just like the original. Brakes on the car, now it's got a set of Willwoods, seem to work awfully nice as well. Now, as far as driving the cars feel very similar. You sit about the same way. There's a little bit more pedal space. I don't know if they've opened up the foot boxes a little bit. Rack and pinion steering, both cars had the same basic suspension as the original car with a coilover, independent on all four corners, of course, and wheel size is very similar. Now, this is a Mark II model as opposed to the street car, which was a Mark I model. What that really means is the 427. Now, in this car here, they kind of did the best of both worlds. They've got a small block 427 in this car, so you've got weight distribution that's a little bit better than if it were a big block car.
Ergonomically speaking, this car is a wonderful, wonderful way to go down the road. And with all of the visual cues in here, you get the feeling that you're driving something serious. The 5.7-liter supercharged engine, making somewhere north of 450 horsepower, all kinds of torque, especially when you step on it. And when it winds up, it feels absolutely great. So technically speaking, what you've got here is a wonderful piece of modern technology. Now, this isn't so much a GT40 as it is a GT40 Brougham. Got leather interior in here. All of the visual appointments are the same, at least along the same theme. But this is an easy car to drive.
On the track, you get onto the brakes, and it pulls you down in a big hurry, but then again it should. The car weighs somewhere around 2,400 pounds. The car's got great big brakes. It's got all sorts of snot up the hill here at VIR. It's just a great all-around car for the track, but it's also a great all-around car for the street. If you had to own one car to be your all-purpose vehicle, both for the road and on the street, you'd have to really think about this car, especially if it was put back to the way the car was originally shipped with the air conditioning. Bottom line is, both cars are great cars to drive.
So, while the original Ford GT40 and the Superformance GT40 are cars that you definitely want, you can make a solid case for definitely needing a car like this. So at the end of the day, you've got to expect some sort of evaluative comparison. Of course, I only drove one car, thank you so much.
I actually got to drive all three, but this one is you.
It is?
Yeah, it's got the stereo, got the air conditioning, it's 11/10 scale.
What do you mean stereo? And then, anyway, you're right. For $175,000, it's a lot of car, and it's an American car made by Ford. Cool car.
Absolutely. Now, if you can't afford $1.5 million for a Mark I and who knows what for a Mark II and who knows what for a race car, great alternative to this car is the Superformance. $92,000, same horsepower to weight, same feel, same look, basically the same heart and soul as the original one.
But you have to wait at least a year for delivery. So you've got a bit of a conundrum. If I were you, and I mean you.
No, you.
If I were you, I'd buy all three. If I were me, I'll wait for the year for my Superformance.